Hello everybody and welcome to the final deck building, well not deck building, final custom creation for our investigators for our second cycle of stuff here. We have our Mystic down in the video description. You'll be able to find our Survivor, our Guardian, our Rogue, and our Seeker. Last cycle we started with the Mystic, today we're finishing with the Mystic, and we have our Occult Collector here, who is a Seeker and a Rogue. You could choose one of those level 0s to have into your deck, but otherwise he's a Mystic 0 to 5. Additionally, Beer, this is the last time, at least in these Investigator build, videos, that you're going to have to explain the modus here, so I'm going to throw this one to you.
So, one more time, the modus cards. They are a set of class-specific bonded cards that we've come up with. Rather than linked to specific assets and things that put it into play, it'll be linked to a number of different things within that class, which basically gives each class its own bonded card identity. The Mystic one specifically attaches to an asset and basically gives you an unexpected courage on that asset.
Yeah, and all these numbers and stuff are destined to change with testing, but that's the idea. Mystics, they care about assets, and that's what they're going to attach these things to. All right, and I will also say for the last time, our goal with all of these is to make it so that these investigators synergize with these cards, but they're not like reliant on these cards in order to do their job. So it's not like a parasitic mechanic, but rather they can explore those that are in their box, or alternatively, just build with whatever you have in your collection. So that's kind of our goal here. Okay, so this guy is going to care about assets, and we have a few talking points here as I was on a walk last night and daydreaming about this guy. So the one that we were most drawn to was using assets to influence other assets. That's kind of the vibe here. Some other things that I throw here, I'm just going to throw them out to the table. A Norman Withers effect, but it's for using an action on assets. Attaches defeated enemies and resolves treacheries to assets for temporary bonus effects, and can play item assets when drawn with a reduction or bonus. Another thing we talked about, to give some context for this conversation that's going to come in here, is Beard and I have talked about this guy being like Mark Harrigan, where he's going to have a double-sided signature to kind of tell the story that this guy is dealing with the powers of the mythos that are a little bit sketchy and a little bit scary. So that's where we're going to go with this. I think because of that, this guy's ability on his investigator card should be like Mark Harrigan. He should have a very simple ability on the front, and then like his signature asset is like the second part of his ability, but it's like two simple halves of an investigator card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we start with the ability, or should we start with his stats?
Great question. I think we should start with the ability. I always like starting there.
Okay.
I'm also gonna... Asset is probably what we want for his signature, right? Or at least, he might have two signatures. This guy might have two.
Well, so does Mark. Just one that's always out, and then one that you can put into play.
Exactly, yeah. Okay, so let's just call this Occult Collector Weakness. Sorry, let's just call it Permanent. And then it's going to be Weakness on the backside. Perfect. Okay. Because we're probably going to need to work on all of these kind of together.
Yeah, it'll be a package deal.
Yeah. Okay, so let me ask the question, Beard. Do you have any thoughts before I ask any like open questions, or that's a good place to start? Do you have any like general thoughts for this guy?
Not specifically. I think we discussed a number of ways we could go with it, but what's top of your mind right now?
So I have two. One is that his signature allows him to exhaust assets to influence, right?
Yep. Exhausting, I think, was one that I wanted to do too.
The other thing was that if, for example, I think that like the Lumberjack, this guy might benefit from having a, like, when you attach something to an asset benefit. And then his signature allows him to attach, like, enemies or treacheries to his assets. That's, like, what I was thinking as a possible thing as well.
Kind of like a mini binder's jar.
Yeah, like he's like binder's jar vibes is kind of like I think one of the two directions that I'm most drawn to without it being too complex.
All right.
Something that I think would be cool is if, unlike Sophie, where it's like you don't want it to flip, I think it would be cool if his signature flipped every time you used it. So both from the positive and the negative, kind of like the keys, right? But you're like forced to, like, you're more likely to want to trigger it.
He has his own Cheshire cat.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly, right?
So let's start with the timing point of getting enemies and treacheries attached. Is it when they would leave play?
Yeah, I think so. Like when they would leave play, or like when they would be resolved, right? Like for like the treacheries that are like rotting remains.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a pretty good timing point.
Right. So when an enemy or treachery at your location would leave play or be resolved.
Yeah, what is it called? Fool me once. At your location would enemy play. I guess when an enemy at your leaves play, or you discard a treachery card after resolving any of its effects, like that could be it.
Yeah.
Oh, the seal the tablet scenario. Can't remember the wording there. I think it's something like would leave play or be discarded, including after oh, do you know what that scenario is called, Dice Gods? Seal the tablets. I can't think of that scenario.
Wasn't that one of mine?
Oh.
Yeah, the Cyclopean Foundation triple.
Oh yes, yeah. The really cool one where they all seem to work at the same time. That's a neat one.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, so yeah, when an enemy or location, we'll check that out. We can check that out. Attach how do we make this without having like a million freaking words on it? Binder's Jar just has FAQ. When it leaves play, the attached cards get discarded, right?
I think so.
Okay.
Oh, there shouldn't be a colon right after the reaction.
Thank you. It should be right there already. Perfect.
I guess instead of when an enemy location leaves play, it would be would leave play.
Yep, would leave play.
Or you would discard. Attach that card to an asset you control.
Should we make it a non-permanent asset?
Yeah, it could be an item asset.
Yes, that's, I think, what we want. Sophie, don't tell me. Frick!
Scott, you got name deck only.
Yeah.
Does it have permanent or cannot leave play?
It has cannot leave play.
Okay.
There's a separate line break for that. I kind of feel like I just like, again, just doing that permanent. This is a lot of text, unfortunately, and I don't feel like we can add much more.
Oh, what's the flipping condition? Just immediately after you trigger that?
That's the thing, right? Like, that's the... I guess, like, it could, right? Like, flip... Let's just call this, like, evil item. Flip full name. And then, like, you could spend them on the other side for something.
Yeah, so it'd pretty much just be one at a time then, right?
Yeah. I guess, like, it doesn't fit to be a weakness here. It doesn't necessarily have to be, right? Oh, yeah, it has to be non-elite. Yeah. No, it definitely, that should be there. Thank you.
It could also be like then if there are 3 or more scenario cards attached to assets you control, flip it.
Scenarios cards? That's not how that works, Justin.
I am curious how this would work with encounter cards that are already attached to assets.
Yep. It would work like it'd have to be 3 or yeah, 3. It would actually work like as this guy's not intending, but I think it makes sense with the rules.
Yeah. Maybe attach that card face down just to have some distinction.
Yeah, attach that card face down. Interesting. Binder's Jar says place beneath. But I think we want attach because it works with unlocked, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of other those style cards are placed face down beneath, like backpack or does backpack attach? I forget. Binder's Jar might be the only one, which is why it needed the clarification.
Yeah. Play, or you would discard a treachery card of resolving effects. Attach that card beneath. Attach a card face down to an item as you control. Then, if there are 3 or more scenario cards attached to assets you control, flip evil item.
So is this sort of like the basis we want?
I'm not sure. I think we kind of have to look at the whole picture. This guy's going to be a doozy, everybody. So buckle up. This one's going to be this one's going to be a doozy. I guess the question is, what's the other side, right?
Maybe it's like you have to use all these by the end of your turn or something happens.
Yep. Yeah.
So like three enemies in treachery stock up. So you can be prepared for that, but as soon as that flips, you need to make sure that you're ready to burst use these.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, and I guess like he'll use them off his investigator card.
Yeah.
I think that's not a bad idea. Just so it's not like too strong.
Or you could have the use for those enemies and treacheries on the flip side.
Yes, that's another thing too, which would be pretty clean, right? And then again, like it doesn't need to be a weakness on this side.
Well, I think we should keep it weakness just for the flavor.
I'm
Because you're in
down
like
with that.
burn everything mode.
Yeah. What if it was just like binary, where it's like flip, use, flip, use, flip, use? Is that it? Make it like a little bit less control, but it'll maybe a little bit easier to like less words, you know?
It would, but is that something you want to do every round? Flipping the card every round?
Yeah, that's a good point. It'd be very easy in digital. F. F. F.
Of course.
What if we tried to do like, what if we made it, we drop this like, what if we simplify like the wording? Because right now we have a lot on the front there. When a non-enemy location would leave player, you discard a treachery card if resolving its effects. Like, what if it's like when a non-elite encounter card would leave play or be discarded, like the wording that you had that Dice God says.
Or we could just have it simpler, just like attach a card from the encounter discard pile to...
Oh, yeah.
Because that would... Just once per round you can do that.
Yeah, okay. Attach a non-elite...
Yeah, non-elite card in the encounter discard pile to an item master you control. And that could be a colon right after the free trigger.
Yeah.
That simplifies it a lot.
Yes. Attach a non-elite card in the encounter discard pile to an item master you control. And now it can actually become a little bit more burny, right?
Yeah.
And this should be a limit once per round.
But you could also exhaust it to do it.
Oh, yeah, let's do that. Exhaust full name. Attach a non-elite card in the encounter discard pile to an item asset you control. Then, if there are 3 or more scenario cards attached to assets you control, flip evil item. That's so much easier to put together.
Yeah.
And this kind of and then with this flavor, it's now less about him using the, beating the mythos and more about him using the mythos, which I think works better for what we want for him, right?
Yeah, he doesn't necessarily have to be a combat-focused guy or around where it's happening. He just has to be able to reap the rewards.
Yeah. Exhaust evil item. Attach a non-elite card in the encounter discard pile to an item asset you control. Then, if there are 3 or more scenario cards attached to assets you control, flip evil item. We can even add now how it's supposed to be. We can be like, cannot leave play.
Yeah. We have the space.
We've done it. I guess that actually will be in here. And with this one, it's just evil item cannot leave play. Okay, let's take a stop here, and why don't we go to his ability?
Okay.
And his ability should, like, discard cards?
Well, if he discards cards with his ability, then he won't get the full effect of the unlocked.
Yeah. Okay.
He could have like a Diana kind of thing where he's got one base will.
Can I'm thinking we're sitting very similar. I kind of want to. Can I pitch something to you? I'm going to put this here. I'm going to put this here, and we can go with this. See if this inspires anything. I have to look at a bunch of cards to put this down here. But I think like the scaling idea is interesting. I feel like this guy powers up. He's like Goku, you know?
Yeah.
When you would take... Sorry, I just try like... All right, I'm going to put it in the simple words, what I was thinking. Like, when you are dealt damage, double it. Again, we'll get the wordings after, but like the idea is that he has like a bigger downside, but then like you get like +1 to all skills, and then like at the end of the round, discard all encounter cards, items you control.
All face down encounter cards.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, face down encounter cards. We should. I think I removed that one, and flip. Full name. So it's kind of like it has to do some work on this, right?
Yeah.
But like this is like where his ability lies, and then like his ability, like his actual ability, could be something really simple, which is like after you like basically like kind of like the once again kind of like the lumberjack, right? Where like after you attach a card to a card, do something, right?
Yeah, you can get card draw out of it. I think it makes more sense for him thematically.
Yeah, like after you attach a card to another card with a player card effect.
I think you could just say after you attach a player card to another card.
But that won't trigger with Evil Eye or with Evil Item, right?
Oh, that is true. Yeah, good catch.
Card to another card, the player draw one card. Like that could be the simple thing there. Okay. I think this is telling an interesting story. Can I... Okay. Let's... I'm gonna put some more stuff down here. I think that you get +1... +1 will, I guess? I don't know. Sorry, this guy's just suddenly got my brain moving and it's going so fast. So my idea was, what if instead of the downside being the double damage, what if you have to draw all the encounter cards when it's done?
That would be pretty scary in a way.
Yeah, but you can choose which ones you draw, right? Like, that's the thing. You have some power.
That is true.
I think the effect would need to be really good. I mean, already, I think just even, like, drawing a card each round is also really good at fast speed, if we do follow this path.
Quick edit I want to make to that is that I think the timing point for flipping that back over is start of the mythos phase. So you can't pick like a bunch of things that discard at the end of the round and then have them all go away.
Yes. at the start of the mythos phase for this one right here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, Monomugu definitely needs, this is definitely just like needs to be tweaked a bit. This was just kind of like the idea that we have here to get like a foundation. Would it be attach a non-elite card in the counter deck? Did the counter discard pile to an item as you control? Where would the face down be in this? For some reason, I can't grok it.
Attach a non-elite card in the counter discard face down to an item asset you control.
Thank you. So yeah, basically, without any changes, the good part is of his ability is he gets to draw 3 cards over 3 rounds. That's like the base thing here.
Yeah.
If we go with just like this little version right here. But I feel like this should have like an upside for the turn you trigger it. I agree with you there, right? But I guess at the same time, is this now a little bit too limiting, right? Like, is this play pattern just going to be the same thing every 3 rounds? Like, is that too dull, right? Is it too much of a box that we're putting him in?
I see what you're saying. Maybe if there was other things you could do with discarding those player cards, like on the signature that he has in his deck.
Yeah.
Or discarding those encounter cards, I mean. So without his signature asset, it's just the every 3 rounds you get a burst. With that signature out, you can start playing more with the encounter cards that are attached to your cards.
Yeah. Monomugu, what scenario are you talking about with that? Any late game scenario with 5 fatties? I mean, I think that's pretty fine. You have to get them in the encounter deck first, right? Like, you have to get them in the discard pile?
Yeah, so you have to at least go through them once.
Yeah, that seems pretty alright.
Honestly, any of those player cards that are like discard cards in the encounter deck are now better with him.
Yep.
Because there's currently not a lot of investigators that really care about that, other than we don't have to deal with this for a bit.
What's our lumberjack say? Yeah, so they're very similar with that thing. And I don't know if that's a bad thing or not.
Honestly, I think it's fine to do that because they both have like another thing going on. It's not like
it's
it's not like he's more robust than the lumberjack is. He's just a different avenue.
Yeah. All right. Exhaust evil item, attach an Ollie's card. Then if there are 3 more snare cards attached to assets you control, flip evil item. All right, what if this side lasted a little bit longer?
You could also just make it like a separate trigger, just like when the investigation phase begins, flip this card.
Yeah. What I was thinking, like, so at the start of the mythos phase, so trying to make it a little bit less of like the build up and then like flip and then build up again. At the start of the mythos phase, discard 1 face down encounter card. You control. Then there are no... Oh man, this is so wordy.
We'll just get it out there and we can pare it down afterward.
Yeah, if there are no... If there are no face down... And then, like, this effect is different. Because then, like, he has, like, 2 modes, right? Where he has, like, his charge-up mode and then, like, his Goku mode with a bit of a downside.
Yeah. So, you being able to build up as much as you want for the burst is part of the puzzle.
Yeah. Yeah, like, see if you can somehow get more than 3 before you trigger it.
Should they also need to be different item assets? Like, there can't be more than 1 attached to each one.
Potentially. I don't know, I feel like this guy's just a bit too on the rails, you know?
I get what you're saying. Like, there is an ideal way to play him.
Yeah. How can we make him more open, right? Without giving him, like, an extra card. Here, let's try a version where, like, it... Oh, man, but I think the flip is still too much.
In the meantime, here's a assortment of first and last names. I think any of these could work in combination.
Okay. I like Desmond for a first name. Desmond. What do you like more, Wakefield or Whitlock?
In terms of the flow of the name, I think Wakefield.
Desmond Wakefield.
Yeah, I think just make it a separate trigger to flip on the front side.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just to give us something to...
Yeah, make it like...
Have it be, like, actually a reaction for, like, when the investigation phase begins, flip it. And then on the back side, maybe you could do something where, like, you can also flip it back at any time, but then you'd have to discard every face down encounter card.
The investigation phase begins. Flip evil item. Like that.
Something like that, yeah. And then the bonuses for this this backside are, or like the benefit and the negative are just passives.
Yeah.
But then I guess it wouldn't matter how many cards you had.
Desmond, you're tricky.
Could be something as simple as just like you get +1 skill value for, or even greater. You could do like, how do I word this? Like you get a big skill boost for using each asset you have something attached to.
Yeah.
But after you use an asset with something attached to it, something bad happens.
Do you feel like this is less of an occult collector and more like a spirit collector? Like, are we drifting too far from that as well, potentially?
Not with the treacheries. If it was just enemies, then I'd agree.
Yeah. I mean, what if it was only treacheries for this guy?
That would make him less enemy management and more...
Attach a treachery. And then kind of discard pile face down to an item asset you control.
I do like that flavor a bit more, because like he can get the Binder's Jar for enemies, but for this it's just harnessing like raw evil force.
Down. That should be a different. Different item asset you control. Okay. I'm going to take a little sidestep here.
All right.
To go to his potential, like, in-deck weakness. Like I said, like I've been saying that this guy was going to be a puzzle, and I think he's, he gads. A random... It could be something like this, or like only shuffle in if nothing happens, but I think this is the way to go with that, right? That's a pretty like obvious sort of weakness to go for this.
Yeah, it's kind of the counter the build style weakness.
Yeah. So the thing that I feel like I'm missing is I feel like this ability is less about like after you attach another card, and it's like when you initiate a test on an item control with a card attached to it effect, right? I feel like that's a little bit more in line with the flavor.
Yeah, because he wants cards that he can use.
Yeah. And that also still works with unlocked.
Yeah.
In a way that is also a little bit more engaging than just like copy of Lumberjack. But I think you're right that like they're doing different things, so like it worked well, but I think this is like a little bit more in line with the character.
Yeah. Question is, what does he want? Is he going to be a fighter, a cleaver, or a flex?
I think he's a mystic, so I think we should set him up to flex. Hear me out. All threes.
He could be.
He could be. He can use all the rogue stuff from the last box, if he is.
That is true. Because all that does fall within level 0 rogue.
Yep. Mirror Universe Amina. Yeah, it is 100%.
Other than the will, the mostly threes is Diana's deal too.
Yep. I mean, we can make it a little bit interesting and change it a little bit, but I feel like this guy gets better when he's like using his occult items, right?
Yeah. The question is, do we want the like skill bonus on his front, or do we want it on the
back side of the evil item? That's interesting. Oh boy, Desmond, you're a little puzzle, aren't you?
He is indeed.
That's treachery in the can. So I also feel like maybe like Sophie, evil item should not have like, I think it should be turned into the evil version without you wanting it to. Like it should be something you try to avoid.
True, but there's no other ways to discard those cards at the moment.
Yeah. But I feel like especially now if we make this a positive, it'll work better for that.
Of course, the way it's worded, he doesn't get any benefit for...
I just put draw card on there from the old ability.
The way it's currently worded, he doesn't get any benefit from his ability for the treacheries attached to his cards. No, wait. Yeah, he does. Never mind.
Yeah, also actually works like even if they're face up, he's able to use that power.
Which I think makes sense for him.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
So maybe his front is just a +2 skill value once per round.
Yeah. value for this test. Yeah, basically just give him unlocked on a stick. He gets like a free unlocked.
Which makes sense with all threes. Makes him able to flex whenever.
Let's look at some item assets. See what we can vibe with as well.
So for item assets, he's got the Doom Suite.
Yep. Yeah, he's got like Abyssal Tome as well. Yeah, so basically he's kind of like Wilson Richards, where he has like a 1/5 test a turn.
Yeah, rather than all fours, he's a 5 once per turn.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's some interesting items here. Looking like Sword Cane.
And his signature can be an item asset.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, I'm starting to feel a little bit more. I feel like things are coming together a bit more with this guy.
Now that we know what he's doing.
Yeah. When you initiate a test on an item as you control with a card attached to it, you get +2 skill value for this test. Limit once. So then, like, with an unlocked, you can get, like, 2 5 tests in a row.
Or a 7 test.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Okay.
Yeah, those Doom assets that were meant for Amin are actually really good with him.
Yep.
I think we've given the L3 stat line more love in these 2 sets than they've gotten in all of official Arkham.
Yeah. And I mean, I think it makes sense to do 2 sets in a row with 3s when Maxwell, like, they can kind of support each other.
True, because Maxwell did have Mystic off class.
Yeah. And this guy's Rogue off class, so they kind of like, I think this is like a perfect storm for that.
Desmond walks into the bar. I just had the craziest idea. Maxwell, you son of a bitch, I'm in.
And I think this guy fits well for both Snoop Around and Crash Through. I think like he's a little bit evil, you know? So we got the dancer thing. Look at that. It worked itself out. Now when people are like, why can't the dancer use this? Well, like, look at Desmond. Look at that motherfucker.
We got him.
All right. So I feel like the evil eye now has a positive effect. Sorry, the evil item. So I feel like it should be less about building up and going down, but it's just a way to like make his ability work, right?
So what would be the flipping it effect?
Great question. I also think we don't need to do different anymore because there's no reason to do multiples on stuff. If someone wants to do it, they can, but there's really no perk to it.
I guess we can just say, well, the original idea for that was just building up a big array of assets, but I guess you don't particularly need that with the current line.
Yeah, and I think also it does still... Okay, what if it's limit once per round per asset? I think that makes you more inclined to do it, and then we can also make the punishment kind of like target that as well, right? Like building up has its risk.
Alternately, you could do, when you initiate a test on an item asset, exhaust a card attached to that asset.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have multiple cards, even if they're the face down counter cards, you can get multiple +2s out of it.
Yeah.
Almost build him like the way that Charlie works in a way. But with attached cards instead of assets, or ally assets.
So when you initiate a test on item asset you control, exhaust
a card attached to that asset. And you wouldn't need the limit because it'd be exhausting those.
Yeah.
And that would still work with the unlocked because you can exhaust it and then trigger the discard.
Yeah. Does this guy maybe need 2s?
He might need 2s.
Still works with Amina. Sorry, with all the stuff that we have already here, right?
I suppose it's less ideal, but
I mean, it's not because he can attach stuff to his hammer and his loop.
that he could.
Okay. Test on item has exhaust a card attached to that asset. You get +2 skill value for this test. Okay, so there's a flavor now that he's empowering this stuff with dark magic, right? With like occulty means, so that's really good. So now there's a reason you want to attach things. So then we go back to the trigger.
So this would be... Honestly, we could leave it up to chance, like... Reveal 1 token for every treachery attached to a card you... Like, when the investigation phase begins, reveal a cast token for each treachery you have attached to a card you control.
Yeah.
If you reveal the auto-fail, shit goes south.
Yeah.
Because if you only have 1 or 2, it's pretty low risk. But if you're really building up, then there's a chance that's going to go.
Shit Goes South is an official Arkham term. It is. Item. Attach a treachery in the counter to go to face down ass you control.
It is. It was actually invented in the Forgotten Age when you're going south to Mexico. It's official.
The only thing I like the random trigger, but I think it's like the flipping every turn, like doing that every turn is probably going to be a little bit exhausting as well.
True, but at least revealing tokens is quick, either physical or digital.
Yeah. I mean, I'd rather flip a card than do... I mean, what happens if we do make it a flip each time as well? What if we go back to that now that we kind of know what we're doing? So, like, what if you can only put a card, a treachery every other turn, but then, like, Unlocked allows them to do it, like, every turn as well? Like, you can fill those gaps between this.
You could. It also could be sort of like a task on the other side where you've attached the treachery and now you have to, like, stabilize it before you can...
That's really cool. Yeah. Let's try that out. Let's do this. Then flip. Let's go back to this. Let's go back to the classic where we started.
And on the other side, can't leave play. Treacheries attached to items you control cannot be exhausted.
Yeah. Yeah, face down encounter cards, yeah.
Yep. I should also have null cost for the...
Yeah, for both of these.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, like, his ability is very powerful. So we got to make him, like, work for it a bit, right? I like the theory.
So maybe you can't flip it until you've, like, discovered clues or damaged an enemy this round.
Yeah.
So there's fairly easy ways to control that.
Yeah. The only problem is that he'll also have to do the first one. I guess we could go like this, then... Or more... So, like, the first one's free, and then everything else is... You have to start working for it.
It's pretty good.
And then, yeah, now it becomes, like... Now the task is, after you...
Or can even replace the effect, like when you would discover a clue or deal damage to an enemy.
Yeah.
I guess it'd be instead flip that, but same difference. There's only one downside that I can think of so far. It's that once those treacheries are attached, there's no way that they go back into rotation.
Yes, that is bad. Okay, what if we then made this, like, self-defeating, right? If we go back to 3 or more,
Mm-hmm.
and then this, like, dealt with them. So it's like, when your turn ends, draw a face-down encounter card. It could also be discard, right? Attached. It could be something like that, right?
True.
What if? Okay, but what if it? Okay,
turn.
I have an idea. I have an idea. So then, like, what if it's like a similar trigger to his thing, right? But it's like worse, and it's how you like. So you have to actually spend.
Like you have to spend until you go down to 0 or down to 1, or.
That's the thing. Yeah, it could go back down to 1, right?
Because that seemed to be the.
What's that asset?
Well, rather than the +2 skill value, since he's already getting that, maybe this is like burst clues or burst damage instead.
Okay. What if also instead of this face down encounter card, what it was like, treat your investigator's text box as if it was blank. And then you have to, like, reset with these, but then when you're back, your unlocked cards are still on lock, right?
That could work. Blank except for traits. Yeah, always gotta.
Yeah.
include that kicker.
For traits. I'll get the, everyone, you know who, everybody say it. Except for traits. Treat your investigator. Text box that was blank, except for traits. Has that ever mattered?
I think now that I'm thinking of it, we need to include the Mark Harrigan thing on the front where it's like you begin the game with asset in play.
Yeah, I think we also could put that in additional setup instructions because we've been doing that, and I think that's cleaner. But we do need to include that.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. So yes, the idea is that you can stop at 2 with this. Man, this guy's a freaking puzzle.
Yeah, it's the making him a puzzle without having there just be one solution to the puzzle. That's the tricky part.
Yep. Oh, I hate how that looks. So let's go back to this. You encounter cards cannot face down encounter cards attached assets you control cannot be exhausted. I think that's a cleaner thing. And then we go back and we look at this thing again.
Honestly, it could just be like a straight pay the price kind of thing where it's just like you get to trigger it somehow, but then for every card attached to your items, you either have to discard that card or take a direct damage.
Yeah.
So it's like you can keep all 3 and then flip it back, but then the next time you trigger that card.
Yeah. Face down. Take 1 direct damage for each control. Flip full name.
Probably a way to combine them. Let me see here.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's like discard any number.
Yeah.
Then take 1 direct. Yeah. Number of face down encounter cards attached to cards you control.
Yeah, for each, and then you, rather than saying that whole phrase again, it's just like for each one you do not discard, take 1 direct damage.
Yeah. Then for each not discard. You do not discard. Do or did?
Did.
You did not discard. Take 1 direct damage. So you can get to 3, take 3 direct damage, and then live at 3.
Yeah, and then you could presumably get up to 4 if you pack some healing.
Yeah,
You just have to keep going through that every time.
Okay.
Yeah, you could build him healing heavy and then just stack it up.
Okay, I think that's interesting. All right, let's look at this whole picture again. All right, so this guy, as a reaction, when you initiate a test on an item asset, exhaust a card attached to that asset, you get +2 skill value for this test. He starts with this evil item in play, which you cannot leave play, and as a lightning bolt, exhaust it. Attach a treachery in the counter discard pile to a... Oh, but we still don't have the things. They're going to stay here, right?
What's that?
Like, we still don't have the treacheries leaving play on this. Is that okay?
We do. It's not, because you have to discard any number of those treacheries there.
Yeah, but in theory, you could still lock, like, 3 forever. Are we worried about that?
Not if Gloria can do it.
Okay. Assuming that 3 is the number. I mean, EGADS is also going to stop that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we can also make that meaner because, again, this isn't beneath Gloria. This is attached to a card you control. If you lose control of that card, then it goes away too.
Yeah, it could. Yeah, it could be discard. I think like discarding an asset with stuff attached. Like it could be like that. Okay. All right. So yeah, this one. If there are 3 or more encounter cards attached as you control, flip evil item. You cannot leave play. Encounter cards attached to assets you control cannot be exhausted. As a lightning bolt, discard any number of face down encounter cards attached to a card you control. Then for each one you did not discard, take 1 direct damage and flip evil item. I think this all works. I feel like this guy should be a reverse Diana slightly. I think he should have 3 willpower still.
3, 2, 2, 2.
Yeah. Because I think, I mean, I guess most of these, like, if we look, for example, for the Doom charms, right? Those are going to be 3s across the board if he uses those, because you get the boost for the other stats.
Which ones again, sorry?
Like the Ceremonial Sickle, the Dowsing Rod.
Well, he'd be at 3 no matter which option you picked, unless you exhaust something attached to it.
Yes, and I think that's okay. I think giving him some mythos, like mythos protection, is probably still nicer. I think 3 brain is going to be better than 2 for that.
All right.
I just feel it. But I like 2s for the other ones.
What do you think about this for his permanently in play one?
I like it. It's also, he has a ring on right now, so I think that's a good...
He has multiple rings on.
Yeah. Whoopsie. Not him again. Alright, this is one that I can extend the background for.
Yeah, it's fairly easy too.
Yeah. Alright, I'll do that this weekend, so I'll just put these here for right now.
I've had to do that for the few before.
There we go.
Can we settle on which ancient one he's...
Alright, so we have Opath, Cthugga, and Daleoth. I don't know much about that last guy off the top of my head, so... oh, yeah, that guy. Yeah.
Yeah, he's very, very fun.
I think we go with him.
Alrighty.
I think he, even this ring, even just the look of it, I don't think it fits with Abhoth or Cthugga, so it definitely doesn't fit with Abhoth. It could reasonably fit with Cthugga. Because I don't think Cthugga has, I mean, let me see if he's in this book. He is not in this book.
Yeah, Cthugga is the fire one.
Yeah. But, like, maybe he has, like, Night Gaunts under his patrol, which this ring could fit for.
True. It helps with him being attached to Daloth because Daloth is a very aloof and distant ancient one.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I see nothing
Yep.
related to them, so we can go with Daloth.
him stepping in would be like, my master has something planned. It's not whatever this is, so I'm going to make sure that that plan is still in motion.
Yeah.
That'd be reason for him to stop some of the other mythos.
So then what if it was like, I think let's go to this thing, his weakness. And I think it should be like, choose an item asset you control with one or more face down encounter cards attached to it. And then it's like either discard that item, discard that asset, or draw all face down encounter cards attached to it. And then I still think shuffle this into your deck. Maybe if there are...
It would have to be like a take one horror and shuffle it back in. Otherwise, this is just dead draw with no real downside.
Yeah. Well, that's assuming that you don't use your ability at all, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But like either you have none, or if you want to keep that asset, then... Oh, I see. I misread that.
Discard the chosen asset, yeah.
And since there's no then, it'll shuffle back in if you just don't have any.
Yeah. Do we want it to have like a Safina like Star of Hyades? Time Roller, how's it going?
Yeah, because it'd suck to have it in there forever.
Yeah.
Also,
What if like the power still existed, right? It's like if there are assets you control. So like if you still have the like the chance to be corrupted by the power, it goes back in.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
But let's see. So if you draw this and you have none, then this discards currently.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, it does nothing and then discards.
Yeah, yeah. But, like, is that something you try to game for and just, like, not do anything with your character's ability? Don't use that thing? Or is it better to try to, like, get around it with unlocked? Like, that's the question, right?
I think it's cleaner if it's just then, if there are, like, 5 or more cards in your deck, shuffle it back in.
Okay.
Just because we don't want it being like, oh, I drew it first turn before I did anything, now I don't have to worry about it for the rest of the scenario, basically.
Yeah, I feel like going design on those like hyper specifics leads to like worse things, but I'm okay with switching this up.
Well, it's not that I'm like designing around it. I'm just saying like there's already cards that cover that with like Safina's weakness.
Yeah, but like Safina's weakness, there it's active from the start. I think that this is less like Safina's you can't choose, right? With this one you can choose. So like you're choosing to not use your ability, then like your weakness, like it's kind of like the same thing. Like it doesn't hurt you if that case. Here we go. So it's kind of like the down, like it not hitting on like the use case where you have nothing to hit is the same thing as like you're not even using your character's ability, right?
Yeah, that's fair, I guess. If you want to go back to that first version, then I'm not going to complain too much.
I think that it's fine. It's cleaner. We can see how it feels, right? We like this guy. It's easier to go with something that exists, so I'm down for it. Yeah, because like we might even find that like this effect is crippling enough we don't even need to do the shuffle in if it discarded something, right? So I think going with something known is okay for
now.
The first test, the proof of concept. But I think, yeah, the discard the asset or draw the cards if you want to keep it, I think is gonna be nice for this. So I think having the choice means that it's shuffling in is not too big of an issue. Like it's gonna be a hindrance. That's a great name. Oh no. Okay, we just need to add a little break. Okay, what is it? It's like a... What is the small one? SVS?
Yeah. Yeah,
I think VS is okay. Yeah, I think VS is fine. I think SVS is too small. Unless you're okay with it kind of hitting the bottom of that rim. You see there at the bottom of the card. I'm not too... I don't like it, but if you are, I can grow up.
I don't think I'm too worried about one way or the other.
Okay. I'll grow up then.
Alrighty.
Maybe I won't. Wait, does maybe spacing work? Probably not because we don't have flavor text.
I can use this for the weakness either way.
Yes. I'm sorry, there was an artist.
I mean, you can also see if it just looks better calling it Faceless Ring.
And then we can... Yeah, perfect. Okay, and then this one should also be called Faceless Ring.
We need to give them different subtitles.
Yes. And maybe even drop the art down. But again, I'm not going to worry about the art until I actually get the... Wonderful. Okay, let's get this art in. Oh, I did the thing again. I zoomed in. I keep trying to shift as if it was Photoshop to drop it down straight. Yes. I'm glad we have like a weird one in here because this guy is very weird.
He is.
All right. What do you think for the trait? Corruption?
I think you just... Power, maybe? Just power? I know that's on a few... Let me see what kind it is.
Okay, and this trait should have like... Item occult relic.
Yeah, power seems to be a lot of those things that are like beyond your control, like
Yep.
demonic piping. And
Perfect.
Circle and done.
Item occult relic for the ring.
Yeah.
Do we want to be spicy and add curse to the backside?
I think occult is enough.
Cool.
Let me just think of some subtitles real quick. Maybe something like this.
Oh, yes. That's incredible. The universe obeys, and the universe rebels. Let's go.
You can probably shift the image down a little bit with that subtitle now.
Yeah.
And we can probably make this a unique card just for the sake of it.
I mean, it has to be, right? It's the faceless ring. I wonder if we go the faceless ring, is that gonna squeeze it too much? No, perfect.
Nice.
Wonderful. All right, we need a name for this thing. I have like in my, like, it's like cosmic, I had like cosmic, not cosmic rebellion, but that's like, because it's so close to the ring, but that's that sort of thing, like cosmic irony or something like that. Like where like the cosmos are like fighting back.
Maybe it's almost like a tribute being demanded from Daloth, so it's like... So it can just be something like cosmic tribute or something.
Yep, I like it. Okay. Yeah, save anyway. And now we need his permanent, that's his, well, it's going to be an asset in his deck. We're kind of in agreement on that, right?
Yeah. We also need to get an Elder Sign.
We do. Yeah, we need to finish him. I call collector signature.
It should definitely be like an occult item that's not a tome.
Yep. I think it needs to be something that he can like use, right? That he can make a test on.
Yeah. Especially with his stat line.
Yeah.
Maybe it like automatically attaches something when it comes into play too.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Let's just call this item of destiny. Then we can get like a longer title to see how it looks. I have something a little bit simple. Let me just put this down here. Let's just put this on the page.
Yeah, start putting stuff down. I'm browsing for relevant art.
So this is a little bit flexy, and it probably could be focused to be better, but this is kind of just something that I thought of, like, for a very basic sort of idea here.
Yeah, it's kind of the basic shape I had as well.
Yeah. And, like, maybe because it only deals 1 damage, this could come in with 4 charges.
Honestly, it could be a test of 2, because if you wanted to, you'd want to use it pretty frequently.
Yeah. The reason I went 3 is because it goes to 5 with the card attached to it. But I guess being up 3 is probably just more reliable, just base.
True. You'd only be 3 to 3 natively, though.
But he does have the card attached to it. It comes in, right? So he's always going to be up 2 on it.
That is fair.
Yeah. That was my thought for it.
As long as he uses it just once around.
Yeah.
But let's see, 4 actions for 3 damage, 3 clues, or some combination. Is that worthy of being a signature?
Great question. Probably not.
Yeah, I wouldn't think it's that efficient, especially later in the campaign.
What if it's like all of the above? Okay, so what if we changed from charges to like offerings?
All right.
Spend 1 offering. If you pass, deal 1 damage to an enemy at your location. Okay, let's go up to 3. We're gonna go do a full Monty here. Your location. Evade it. So what if it just does a little bit of everything now? Ultimate grab bag. The true flex.
Yeah, doing a little of everything together is much more attractive.
Yeah. And then the idea is that there's 4 offerings, so you actually use this and then empty it with your Cosmic Tribute. You just, like, discard it. You're like, it's empty, it's gone.
Yeah, you're okay with losing that one.
Yeah. And I think with the 3 things, the 3 willpower is probably okay for the test.
Yeah, because you can work around that.
Yeah. Okay. Two costs to Mystic. He's going to have to pay a little bit more for his stuff. I don't make the rules. We just follow it.
What do you think of this?
Ooh. Yeah.
Can we squeeze limit 1 mask per character?
Let's find out.
Let's see, limit 1 mask per character. It goes above the uses. Oh, and we also need his deck only on there.
we do, don't we?
We do.
No. All right, maybe not a mask then. I mean, we can have it still be that item, but maybe we don't have like the.
Well, we can have the limit 1 mask on the same item as his deck only.
Okay. Desmond Wakefield. No line break. No line break. Oh.
I mean, what happens if we take off the automatic attachment?
Yeah, it looks a lot nicer.
Yeah, I guess we don't need the automatic attachment because he can just do it with his extra item anyway. You put that in the play and then attach it.
That's fair.
Let me try and come up with a name. Don't forget to leave room for a subtitle.
Yeah. Send me down 2 more. Yep. Yeah, that looks good. What a weird guy this turned out to be.
Very assuredly.
I guess we still need his Elder Sign effect, huh?
That we do. And set his health, too, if he's going to stay 7/7 or something else.
Yeah. I have a very simple idea for this Elder Sign effect here. Control or a card attached to an asset you control. Yeah, so just Elder Sign effect +1, ready an asset you control, or a card attached to an asset you control.
That's solid.
Yeah, don't need to think too hard about that. Okay. And I mean, I suppose we can. There's room that we can just do the Mark Harrigan on the front. It shouldn't be too bad.
Yeah. He doesn't particularly need a quote. Not that we've given anybody quotes so far.
Yeah. With
There's a double parentheses there.
Oh yeah, look at that. Okay, and then health and stuff.
I'm not opposed to leaving him at 7/7 because he can take some damage from his special.
Yeah, and it makes it so that he's gonna be fine. It's kind of like the with Jane, where it's like kind of wants them to be a little bit of both, right? So you're gonna be more inclined to fight stuff.
Yeah.
Oh boy, that guy was a doozy.
Certainly was. I think he took as much as the other two together.
Combined. Yep, 100%. All right, let's go through and do a check. Also, I should also say for people watching, these guys are subject to change. Our last batch, after the first playtest, we were like, okay, we got to do this. This is all just like initial proof of concepting as we put these guys together. But I do think we came up with something that is, I think it's complicated, but not like crazy. I think we did a good job with the ability, and the Faceless Ring is not too, like, the Faceless Ring doesn't really actually do anything.
It just enables his ability and adds some risk to it. So you don't have to have a deck filled with attachment cards.
Yes, yeah, he's kind of like, he works with that, but he's better if you actually use it as little as possible, which is kind of interesting. Like, it's like one of those things that if you can, he's still going to do good, but if you don't want to and you still want to do it, he's also still going to do really good. All right. Desmond Wakefield, the Occult Collector, 3/2/2/2. He's a 7/7 cultist hunter. You begin the game with the Faceless Ring. The universe obeys in play. As a reaction, when you initiate a test on an item asset, exhaust a card attached to that asset, you get +2 skill value for this test. Elder Sign effect is +1. Rating asset you control or card attached to an asset you control. The Faceless Ring, the universe obeys, is Desmond Wakefield deck only. The Faceless Ring cannot leave play. As a lightning bolt, exhaust the Faceless Ring. Attach a treachery in the counter discard pile to an item asset you control. Then, if there are 3 or more face down encounter cards attached to asset you control, flip the Faceless Ring. On the Universe Rebels side of this guy, it cannot leave play. Encounter cards attached to assets you control cannot be exhausted. And as a lightning bolt, discard any number of face down encounter cards attached to a card you control. Then, for each one you did not discard, take 1 direct damage and flip the Faceless Ring. His signatures are the Mask of Arem. It's his deck only, limit 1 mask per investigator, 2 cost asset. Oh, what icons do we want on this?
Why not just Brain Wild Wild?
The other alternative as well, we could go like this to help him out on the other side.
True. It'd be only 1 of each, though. Maybe throwing a wild on top of those 3.
Yeah, sure.
So whatever you commit to, it gets him to base 4.
Yes. Yeah, not bad. Yeah, because 4 is actually not that high. Uses 4 offerings. As an action, spend 1 offering, test Brain 3. If you pass, deal 1 damage to enemy location and automatically evade it. Discover 1 clue at your location. And then we have Cosmic Tribute. Choose an item as you control with 1 or more face-down encounter cards attached to it. Either discard the chosen asset or draw all face-down encounter cards attached to it. If your deck has 5 or more cards in it, shuffle Cosmic Tribute back into your deck instead of discarding it. We should add some spaces here. Is it tabs that make it go over?
You just have to, drop it down to its own line, like a full line break, and then tab it over.
Why do you not want to go? Okay. Hello? That's not right. Huh, don't know why that's not working. Oh well, that's a small thing. We'll figure that out not in this video. But there we have our 5 investigators who all work with their things, their modus. So we have the prepared, reasoned, marked, unlocked, and scouted. But they're also very playable without them. So I'm excited to get these guys into playtesting. And Beard, these were 5, I think, really nice investigators. I think our goals worked out for this. I'm pretty impressed with them.
Yeah, we did a good job making them something new, something distinct, and something that fits within the framework that we wanted for this expansion.
Yep. All right. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. Look forward to more design stuff in the near future. Otherwise, have a good one. Thanks for watching, and as always, a GG's.